The second episode of Uzumaki ensnares you in a web of unease, forcing you to reconsider your perceptions long after the credits roll. Following a gripping premiere, one might expect the subsequent installment to falter, yet it defies those expectations. Instead, the tension unfurls gradually, wrapping around you like a suffocating fog, leaving you just as disturbed by the sight of snails in the aftermath as you were during the haunting scenes. Welcome back to your nerdy show. I'm your host, Spoiler Master. Today we are going to dive deep into the episode 2 of Uzumaki, Spiral into Horror. So let's begin. Body horror continues with snails. In the dim light of the classroom, a grotesque transformation unfolded, one that would haunt the minds of those who witnessed it. The most chilling revelation of this episode was the emergence of the snail people. Katayama, once a vibrant boy, fell victim to a sinister curse woven from spirals, morphing him into a grotesque giant snail. His human features lingered, a haunting reminder of the child he once was. The teacher, in a twisted display of horror, confined him within a glass enclosure, hoping to reveal the truth to his parents. Yet when they arrived, disbelief clouded their eyes. How could this monstrous creature be their son? As if the nightmare couldn't deepen, Tsumura, the very bully who tormented Katayama, met a similar fate, his body contorting into that of a snail and joining Katayama in the enclosure. The atmosphere thickened with dread as the reality of their new existence set in. Snails, those unassuming creatures, are hermaphroditic, and in their confinement, a primal instinct awakened. With resources at hand, the two snails, once boys, succumbed to their base urges. Tsumura, in a grotesque twist of fate, impregnated Katayama, sealing their fates in a cycle of mindless reproduction. The horror of their transformation culminated in the laying of eggs, a chilling testament to their lost humanity. The grotesque tableau of body horror unfolded before our eyes, a nightmarish vision that surpassed all previous horrors. The snails had set a ghastly standard, yet the serpentine reference added a chilling layer to the tale. In a world where love was a battleground, two young souls fought against the suffocating grip of their families. One fateful day, they stumbled upon a pair of snakes entwined in a dance of life and death. Yoriko, naive and bewildered, mistook their embrace for a violent struggle, but Kazunori, with a knowing gaze, revealed the truth. They were mating. As their families conspired to keep them apart, thwarting their escape on a train, the lovers reached a breaking point. In a horrific act of defiance, they contorted their bodies into a grotesque form, merging into a colossal, serpentine entity. No force could sever their bond now. They had become one. With a final glance at the world that sought to tear them asunder, Yoriko and Kazunori plunged into the depths of the ocean, seeking solace from their toxic lineage. In this new existence as a monstrous sea serpent, they found a twisted kind of fortune. Unlike the snail people, who were forever trapped in their grotesque forms, the couple retained their consciousness, their love undying beneath the waves. Before this bizarre transformation, a haunting conversation lingered in the air, where Kiri confronted Kazunori after a brutal encounter with Yoriko's father. Kazunori's words echoed with despair, revealing a village marred by poverty, its inhabitants twisted by their inability to confront their own wretchedness.
I'll stop that car with the power of my love!
Jack in the Box. Kazunori's chilling words linger in the air, but before delving deeper into their meaning, let's cast a shadow over two other unsettling threads woven into this tale: the boy known as Jack in the Box, and the spirals of Kiri's hair. First, we have Jack, a schoolboy whose twisted pastime involves leaping out from the shadows to terrify his peers. His moniker, Jack in the Box, suits him well, for he delights in springing surprises, particularly for Kiri, the object of his misguided affection. His antics are more than just bothersome. They carry an eerie undertone that sends shivers down the spine. Yet what truly unsettles me is his relentless proclamations of love for Kiri, a girl who has made her disinterest painfully clear. When Jack, in a moment of reckless folly, leapt in front of a speeding car to demonstrate his devotion, I felt a dark satisfaction wash over me. Good riddance, I thought, unable to muster any sympathy for such a foolish child. The demise of the Jack-in-the-Box boy was nothing short of horrific, a gruesome spectacle that left me questioning its purpose. Was this truly the end of his story, or merely another layer of trauma for Kiri to bear as she navigates the horrors of this accursed town? The echoes of his fate will haunt her, a reminder of the darkness that lurks just beneath the surface. Kiri and her hair. Kiri's tale unfolds with a sinister twist, centering around her hair, a once mundane feature that transforms into a living nightmare. It begins innocently enough, her medium-length locks stretching unnaturally, elongating with a speed that defies reason. Soon, the ends twist and curl into grotesque spirals, each movement a mockery of the laws of nature. As someone who has always worn long hair, I can attest to the terror of watching it morph into something sentient, capable of ensnaring the unwary and luring them into a trance. Kiri's hair is no longer just a part of her. It has become a creature of its own, ready to lash out at anyone who dares to wield scissors against it. The allure of her hair is irresistible, drawing onlookers into a daze, their eyes glazed as they succumb to its hypnotic sway. Yet, amidst the horror, there lies a thread of dark humor. I found myself chuckling at one point, particularly when another girl, eager to rival Kiri, sprouted her own spiraling tendrils, declaring a battle of the hair monsters. The tension escalated until Shuichi, Kiri's boyfriend, intervened, bravely severing the living menace from her scalp and escaping with his life, leaving behind a chaotic battlefield of hair and horror. Endgame. In this episode, another chilling thread emerged: the lighthouse. It was here that Kiri's younger brother, along with several other innocent children, met a horrific fate, consumed by the searing flames unleashed by the cursed lens of the lighthouse. Kiri alone escaped the inferno, a survivor marked by tragedy. Yet this particular storyline felt lackluster compared to the others, a mere flicker in the shadowy tapestry of the narrative. Thus, I shall bypass it and delve into the deeper themes and motifs that haunt this tale. Body horror, a grotesque reflection of humanity's decay, looms large. The grotesque transformations of the snail and snake plotlines epitomize this loss. When Katayama and Sumura entwined as monstrous snails, my friend Nat aptly remarked on it as a profound violation of their humanity. I couldn't agree more. This series, especially in this episode, grapples with the desecration of bodies, instincts, and all that constitutes our humanity. It's a theme that resonates deeply within Uzumaki. Another observation worth noting is the peculiar narrative tone that permeates the story. Whether intentional or not, the characters in Uzumaki exhibit bizarre reactions to the horrors that unfold around them. Take, for instance, the girl who glimpsed the spirals on Kiri's head. Her immediate response was envy over Kiri's social standing, rather than the dread one might expect upon witnessing a supernatural affliction manifesting on a pier. In the shadowy corners of this anime, it's not merely Sakino who stands out. Nearly every character exhibits a disquieting strangeness. If you observe closely, the unsettling truth reveals itself. If this peculiarity is by design, one must ponder, why are the inhabitants of this town portrayed as so bizarre? The answer lies in the chilling ambiance that thrives on their abnormality. As the spirals creep into their lives, sanity unravels, twisting their very essence. Yet, I suspect there's a darker layer beneath the surface. These townsfolk were already warped long before the spirals began their insidious invasion. While it's entirely plausible that Uzumaki serves solely to explore the grotesque manifestations of spirals, I find myself drawn to deeper interpretations, even if my insights stray from the creator's original intent. In the realm of Uzumaki, one might discern a haunting narrative. The spiral of horror is fueled by humanity's loathing and revulsion towards one another. This hatred, like a relentless spiral, spreads insidiously, drawing individuals into a vortex of despair. Once it takes root, it becomes omnipresent, echoing through generations, an inescapable curse. Hatred contorts souls into grotesque forms, and this could very well be the underlying message of Uzumaki. This notion resonates profoundly, especially in light of Kazunori's observations about the pervasive animosity among the townsfolk. So this was today's, folks. See you in our next video. Till then, bye-bye and take care.
No, what the heck, I'll laugh anyway.